The summer weather may be gone, but European football has now returned. West Ham back in Europa League. I'm buzzing, absolutely buzzing. Love European football, really do. And the fact it's their third successive season of having European football back at West Ham is pretty amazing, really. I think that sometimes we take it for granted of how big this actually is. So, and the fact it's Europa League, obviously a step up from last season in the Conference League, which of course we won. It's just brilliant. So West Ham United versus BACKA TOPOLA, Serbian side who are top of the league in Serbia, the top division out there. So I don't think this is going to be a walk in the park. I don't think that we can't go in with that mindset. I do think we've got to be a little bit careful here. I mean, as I say, they're not only are they top of the league, they're unbeaten. They played 7 games and won 6, and they won 6-3 at the weekend. So I think it goes to show that, look, it's going to be a big gulf in quality in terms of Serbia to, the Premier League. We know that. But I don't think that we should take anything away from them because they're going to come in with a huge amount of momentum. They're going to want to cause an upset, aren't they? It's a big day for them. And I think we've got to be have our wits about us. I really do. But I'll tell you what I love, though, about European football. I love the fact now that because we've just come off the back of a defeat, no shame in it, to Manchester City, of course, in the Premier League, but it's our first one of the season. It doesn't matter who you lose to. It always gives that, I don't know, it's that seed of doubt, doesn't it? That sort of down feeling and makes you think, oh no, we don't want to lose again. So I love the idea now that we get another game now away from a competition, so the pressure's off, at home against probably arguably the weakest side in our group. That makes you just think, well, this is the perfect tonic. Exactly what West Ham need. And I'll tell you what we need as well, and I really hope we get it, is a clean sheet. Not only, obviously, I'm expecting us to win. I hope we win, and I do expect that we will. But I'd like us to keep a clean sheet because it's something we haven't done all season. So, yeah, it's sort of the perfect tonic ahead the weekend game against Liverpool. And I'll tell you what as well, it's not only is it a big opportunity for the club and the team to get that momentum back and the fans get everything back, just lift the mood again ahead of the weekend. It also gives certain players that opportunity, doesn't it, to show the manager, to remind the fans what they're about, give them a bit of a run out. So I think it's a good time for us. It's actually couldn't be better, really, this fixture. I think it's pretty much bang on exactly what we need. As I said, the clean sheets for me is very, very vital. Now, David Moyes has actually given a team update today in the press conference. He's already advised that basically there are no injury concerns. The whole team are fit, which I think is excellent. Obviously, very good news. The only absentee is going to be Edson Alvarez, but that's due to a suspension. But the manager actually made a big point of saying he's fit and he's ready to go. So I expect that Alvarez will be back in the starting lineup on Sunday against Liverpool, which is very, very good news. Look, usually before we do these preview games, I tend to talk about the opposition and go into a little bit of detail about the club and where they're at and talk about certain players. I'm going to be honest, I don't know enough about this side. And I don't want to sort of pretend that I do, apart from the fact I'm just sort of looking at their form and seeing how they're getting on and how they did last season. Yeah, they're no mugs. It's going to be, they're in the Europa League. As I've said, it's Serbia, so we've got to take it. We understand that there is going to be, you imagine, a big difference in quality. But that being said, as I say, they're coming in very good form. And if I was them, I'd be treating this as a game where they've got nothing to lose. Come here and give West Ham a game. So I think we've got to be careful. I mean, we've been in this competition before. We know it can be very tough. Even the Conference League, there are certain games that you kind of thought West Ham should be able to deal with this. And actually, we were tested. So, but I do think that ultimately West Ham will be looking at this thinking this is a great opportunity to get a decent start to our Europa League and to lift that mood and to get everybody up again. Let's be honest. I mean, I can't imagine there's many West Ham fans in a bad mood at the moment or feeling downtrodden because let's be honest, this season has been really great so far. I mean, the first 5 games to be the top 6 is pretty brilliant in the Premier League. But I want to go to Liverpool with that buzz. I want to go there with that excitement and feeling like we've recaptured our form. And I just think that this is the game that is perfect for that. But it's an interesting one how he's going to line up because as much as I want to say play the second string team, which I have kind of, when I've done my lineup, sort of had that massively in mind because I want to give certain players an opportunity to play. I still think we want to win this game. You know what I mean? We want to get, as I've said, we want to keep a clean sheet. We want to get a good result. We want to start off this group well. We want to be top of the group straight away, just get off to a really solid start. So, and I do think there's certain players that are in form that want to play and can do something big for us on Thursday night. So This is my team for this, and I was all go through them individually. There's a couple of things I was a little bit unsure of, and I'd really like to know your team actually and what you want to do, and also your predictions. What we're going to be doing, in fact, is soon we're going to be doing a giveaway for when we do these predictions. We're going to give away a prize. We're going to pick one that gets the correct score in your predictions. So yeah, we'll let you know a bit more about that soon, but that'll be coming in the next sort of couple of weeks or so. Yeah, so this is my team, right? So I've gone for Fabianski in goal. Now, I've kind of contradicted myself because I've always said, just play your best goalkeepers, play your best goalkeepers. Don't worry about, this kind of doing something as a kind of good turn on another player and thinking, you have to do what's right for that person. I think, no, just play your best goalkeeper. However, I'm actually going to go against that today because I actually feel a bit sorry for Fabianski, as though I'm disappointed in his comments that he made over the summer regarding, well, it actually wasn't over the summer, it was after the start of the season, regards to being dropped as our number one goalkeeper, effectively, for Areola. I thought it was disappointing, his comments, actually, about that, considering the fact his age, etc. But I do feel for him still slightly because he hasn't really put a foot wrong. And I thought in the pre-season, actually, he was excellent. Areola's a great goalkeeper. We know that. We've seen it already this season. He's a great shot stopper. Certain things I still think he needs to improve on, but ultimately he is a step up, I think. But that still doesn't take away the fact I think Fabianski deserves this and deserves to be playing. So Fabianski for me in goal. I'm going to go, by the way, same formation for West Ham. I think that kind of goes without saying a little bit with Moyes at the moment. I think he knows the kind of setup we expect him to play. So I'm going for a back four. Right back, I'm going for Tilo Kehrer. Again, we haven't seen him this season, so I want to see him playing. I think he deserves it. Again, another player that last season didn't really do a lot wrong. Right, early on in his West Ham career, I think he made a few mistakes, but ultimately, he came out of that season looking really, really good for us. And Soufal's ahead of him at the moment because he is, and that's all it is. And you get the feeling if Soufal gets injured, Kehrer comes in, does well, that'd be his position to take. And I like that. That's what we want. And this is the opportunity for Kehrer, isn't it? To come in, put in a good performance, remind the manager, look, I'm here. Absolutely, for me, right back Kehrer. My two centre backs, I'm going to go for Angelo Bonner. Goes without saying, I think he needs to be playing in this game, much like Kehrer. He needs to have some minutes under his belt. Great player for us. I mean, what a servant of Bonner's been, and yeah, fully deserves to get his chance in this game. So yeah, Bonner for me. And Mavropanos make his debut for the club. I think it's time. As I've said, Moyes has already said that players are fit and all available. So for me, this is the perfect game to, what a way to start your West Ham career in a game that really you expect West Ham to win. You'd expect West Ham to keep a clean sheet. Now, I know I'm sounding a bit arrogant here because I don't want to feel like I'm sort of saying we're playing against a poor side here. But I'm just saying in general, on paper, West Ham should be winning this game. So I think perfect for him, for Mavropanos to make his debut. Left back. I struggled with this. I'm going to be honest, and I feel sad that I've struggled with this one because ultimately I want to rest Emerson. I think he's been excellent so far this season, vitally important for Liverpool game. So arguably straight away you go, put in Creswell. Yes, and that's what I've done. Aaron Creswell was at left back. I'm just not impressed with Creswell at the moment. I don't know why. That whole summer really left a bad taste in my mouth, and I want him to turn it around. I do because he's a big, loyal servant to the club. He's been around for a long time, but that shenanigans over the summer wasn't great. And I'd like to know a bit more about it, actually. I'd love to know a bit more detail about exactly what happened there. Because I don't know enough. I don't know quite enough. But because I'd like to think there's something that's going to make him come out of this looking a bit better. But from standing back from the situation, it just looks like that he has, thrown his toys out the pram, didn't he? He wanted to leave. He didn't go on a pre-season. It just didn't seem great. He wasn't training. All these things. It did annoy me a little bit. But that being said, I kind of think, okay, let's draw a line under it, get him back playing. Let's just see how this goes, get him back into the team, and hopefully he can put in a decent performance and we can kind of just forget all about it, really. But yeah, I admit I was a bit not sure, but we don't really have another option apart from, of course, we go to our Ollie Scholes, and to be honest with you, that's who I would actually possibly want to see as well. So, but I've just gone because of this game, and it's important. We've got to get off to a good start. We can't take too many risks. And I just think this game, let's give it to Creswell for left back, and hopefully he can come in and put in a decent performance. Now, obviously, we've got the midfield three. You've got the sort of two more defensive midfielder roles. Let's say one more defensive midfielder role and two ahead. Let's say Thomas Souček for me will fill that role today. I think that Alvarez is suspended anyway, so I think Souček needs to come in. I don't, bearing in mind he missed a game recently, didn't he, because of his concussion. So it's not as if he's completely exhausted and needs the break. I do think that he could possibly play this game. So I'm going to put Thomas Souček in there. The two other midfielders I'm going to go with is Pablo Fornals. I mean, again, really feel for Pablo. I really do. What a player he's been for West Ham, and just such a great lad, and loves West Ham, and loves that he sort of embraces East London, doesn't he? And fans love him, and I just want to see him playing because I do feel for him as well. So yeah, for me, Fornals has got to be in there, and he hasn't really done a lot wrong as well, has he? I mean, great end to the season for him last season. Started the season really well. I mean, against Bournemouth, he was excellent. It's just the fact he's just struggling to get in the team, and you kind of understand it's life. You know, it's difficult. It's a ruthless game, football, isn't it? So. But for this, I just think he needs to be in there. Again, another opportunity just to remind the manager, I'm here, I'm still a great player, and he's available. And I think it's important. So, yeah, 4 for me. And I've actually selected James Ward-Prowse. This was a little bit tricky because obviously we've got Liverpool coming up. I don't want to get him injured, but I just think that he's moved from Southampton. He's coming, he's excited about European football. I just think, give him that opportunity, get him out there and playing. And, he started the season so well. Bearing in mind that, we can make a rotation if we're, having a comfortable lead in this game. If we're sort of 2 or 3 up at a certain point, then maybe you can make those changes and the likes of Ward-Prowse could come off. But I would like to see him playing. I do like Ward-Prowse so much. I say like him. I loved him, really. I mean, he's been amazing. What a signing for West Ham. And yeah, I want to see him play European football. I want to see him out there. So yeah, that's my midfield 3. It's going to be Souček, Fornals, and James Ward-Prowse. The front 3. So on the right hand side, I'm going to go for Max Cornet. Again, a bit of a forgotten soul, isn't it? West Ham now. Move hasn't really worked for him whatsoever. I mean, the injury last season was bad for him. But again, bit of a sour taste with that player because. He wasn't having the recovery in England, which the club wanted. He wanted it in France. Okay, be with his family and stuff. But again, it's just, I don't know, things like that I don't think are great. And I just think I want to see a committed player. I want to see someone, and it just feels a little bit like what we were warned about with the signing from Burnley fans, was that he's one of those players that once he gets a knock, he's off. That's it. He can't, any sort of injury, he's out. He never sort of tries to battle on. So. But again, I don't want to forget about him. I don't want to feel like he's totally surplus of requirements. I think he could have gone, I think the club were happy to let him go actually in the summer. Everton, wasn't it? Was very close. But I want to see him given a chance. I want to be reminded if he's any good. And I think these are the perfect opportunities. So, yeah, Max Cornet for me. On the right, I've put Mohamed Kudus to start. I think he needs to start. I don't want to... I understand what Moyes is saying because you want to bed him in. We don't want to put too much pressure on him. But again, this is the kind of perfect game then, isn't it? You think, well, this is a lower opposition, a side that we could possibly get a few goals against. You'd like to think. It's perfect for him, not under too much pressure. It's first game in the group as well. It's not as if we're desperate. We really have to, it's like we can start the game and just think, let's get the points. I just think that'd be a good game for him. It'd be nice to see him get on the score sheet or at least put in a very good performance. We haven't seen a lot of him yet. So I would like to see Kudus start. Up front, I'm resting on Antonio, and I'm going to stick with Mabama in there. I really think he needs to be playing. Now, the only situation with that is obviously his commitments to the under-21s, things like that, and how available he is, fit he is, that kind of stuff, and if he's going to be overworked. But I'd like to think he'll be available. That's what I want to see. I want to start seeing these under-21s coming through a bit more. I mean, obviously, Mabama's now effectively been promoted, been promoted, isn't he, to the first team. But I just want to see him now getting a bit more involved. There's a few others I want to start seeing coming through. So I think this is the kind of perfect game for him. As I've said, look, we could have other options. You could have Antonio on the bench and say, look, if things aren't going quite right, we'll get you on. Or, I mean, I know you could do it the other way around. You could start with Antonio and vice versa, like I did say about, Ward-Prowse and possibly then bringing on other players if we're ahead. But I just think to start, it'd be nice to give the lad a start. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to give him the last 10 minutes. I don't want to give him the last whatever. I want to give him the start of the game and say, go on, Mabama, this is your opportunity now. Senior level, go and do it. And, he's done it before, hasn't he, in the European stage? So, but I know he's been coming on, but I'd like to see him start. Really would. So, yes, that's my team. So, we've got Fabianski, Kira, Ogbonna, Mavropanos, Creswell, Souček, Ward-Prowse, Fornals, Cornet, Kudus, and Mabama. That's my team. I'd like to know your team. So let me know what you think, and if you think I'm going down the right path here, am I being too? I don't want to say cocky, but do you know what I mean? Am I arrogant? Maybe, I don't know. But should we be going for a full strength side and going at them? Possibly. Maybe we should be. I don't know, but I just think I'm very bearing in mind, I want people fresh for the Sunday. It's a big game for us, especially after losing to Man City. Like Mick Antonio said, it's a 6-pointer, isn't it, against Liverpool? Not sure about that, but it's a big game. I'd like to see us go there and do something. I think we can as well. So yeah, that's my team. Predictions then. I want to know your predictions for this one. I mean, it's always tricky, these games, when you don't know enough about the team. But as I say, I don't want to sound cocky, but I'm just going to go decent here. I'm going to say 2-0 West Ham. I don't think it's going to be a thrashing. Hope it is, but you never know. I hope it's not a game that we're going to be shocked and suddenly, lose or draw the game. I really hope not. I'd like to think we've got too much, and especially being at home, should be quite comfortable. So, yeah, I'm going to go 2-0. Yeah, we're back. European football. Come on, you irons.